Did you know parents are going bankrupt just to see their own children? And it's not because they're unfit. Here's why.
First, we need to understand how we got to where we are today.
For much of U.S. history, children were considered part of the father's household. Back when women didn't have rights, right? Later, courts swung to the tender years doctrine, assuming young children belonged only with their mothers. They instituted the tender years doctrine because women couldn't get rights to their children. The tender years doctrine assumed that children were better off with their mothers. Dads weren't so happy about that. Time went on and things changed. Then, in the mid-20th century, a new phrase emerged. You guessed it, the best interest of the child. It sounded protective, but it was dangerously vague, more expensive, arbitrary, and opened the floodgates to expensive corruption. And the courts choose whatever parent they want on what they call the better parent model. It's all made up, you guys, to be able to charge you and take advantage of the conflict that is happening to you. The relationship destruction becomes the ultimate destroyer of the family bonds. And still, the courts are choosing one parent over the other. Comment down below if this has happened to you. So let's talk about this best interest standard. When the best interest standard came into vogue in the 1960s and 1970s, it was during a wave of family law reform. It gave judges unconstitutional discretion. So you know when you go to pass those legislative bills and they say, does it affect the judge's discretion? If it does, we don't want it. What they're really telling you, we don't want the Constitution here, because the Constitution, you guys, naturally limits the judge's discretion. They have been running wild with unlimited discretion, unconstitutional unlimited discretion, because none of you knew about these constitutional rights. And now that some of you do, you don't know how to get them in place, or when you try, you get shut down because it would affect their power, their unconstitutional power they are unwilling to give up. You give somebody too much power, it corrupts them. They're not going to give it up willingly. You just have to keep fighting and making those cracks. Drop in the comments for me if you are still watching and let me know what you have tried. Let me know if your attorneys are refusing to put the constitutional arguments into your family court. Yes or no? Okay, so back to the judges. It gave the judges maximum unconstitutional discretion. So when you pass a legislative bill that has constitutional limits in it, is the Constitution limiting them, not you. It is proper limitation. But best interest gave the judges maximum unconstitutional discretion. Instead of requiring proof of harm now, judges could just decide whoever they thought was the better parent, or whoever they wanted to choose to be the parent, and strip the other parent of the majority of the time and give it to the other parent, right? So one parent gets a lion's share of time and rights, even though they'll tell you you still have your rights when you have your child, but they'll limit you to like every other weekend, one day, maybe one night a week, maybe only a couple hours the week that you don't have them that weekend. It's your time is reduced down to less than what that other parent, the chosen parent's new mate, will have with your children. You know, it's a thing. Boyfriends, girlfriends, even neighbors and teachers will get more time with your child than you. Drop in the comments where you're watching from. What state are you watching from? Because I want to know what states are fighting the hardest. So pay attention. So over time, the best interest of the child phrase has become the all-purpose tool to override constitutional parental rights. Drop in the comments a yes if best interest was used to strip you of time with your child. Today, when parents step into family court, the moment a petition is filed, best interest is triggered. This wipes out the presumption that you are fit. It wipes out the presumption that you have parental rights, and it says, most of the statutes still say judges grant you rights. Okay, that's improper, you guys. I have a solution for this, so just stay put at the end of the video. So they're wiping out the presumption that parents are fit. And now judges have cleared the way where they can order endless evaluations, supervised visits, guardian ad litem. So they just make these huge, costly legal battles under the umbrella of best interest of the child. Parents go bankrupt, children are alienated, communities bear long-term fallout like higher rates of depression, suicide, and even violent crime. You think both parents should start with 50-50? Drop it in the comments, yes or no. So now that you've stayed this long, here's your solution. This approach works. When Kentucky passed an equal parenting law in 2018, court dockets dropped, false allegations decreased, and litigation costs fell. There's tons of research and decades also of peer-reviewed studies that show children thrive academically, emotionally, and socially when both parents, that's both, remain fully involved in their children's lives and aren't being forced to be involved in high conflict custody battles, pitting each other against one another. And remember, most importantly, it does not matter whether there's evidence or proof that equal time is desirable. Rights are not granted or withdrawn based on whether government officials agree with them. You agree? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. The government's role is not to decide if they approve of your rights, but their role is to protect those rights as guaranteed by the Constitution. You agree? Yes or no? Drop it in the comments. Let me explain to you what it is. So I wrote a solution. The Protecting Families Act. It changes the game. It presumes both parents are fit and protects your right to equal parenting, because you have a right to it until they prove you don't. Under the due process mandate, equal parenting time is 50-50. It's recognized as the least restrictive and constitutional baseline, with no more than a few overnight differences in a year. And that difference is corrected the following year, ensuring balance. Now, they might tell you Constitution doesn't guarantee equal time. That is correct. That is why I explained it the way I did here, that it is under due process, not the equal protection clause. Okay, so don't get confused with that, because they will try to just argue you right out of your rights. This bill prevents them from doing that. It helps you stay on track, on the message that you need to be sending to them. There are lots of equal parenting bills out there, you guys, but the problem is they're leaving best interests in there. They're leaving things in there like, if you are found fit, no, that makes you prove it. That means they're going to run up your bill. That means they're going to cost you to prove that. You need to get out of that cycle. This bill does that for you. The Protecting Families Act is not just a bill. It's a constitutional fix. So you don't have to worry about everybody coming in next legislative session, tweaking it, dropping it, changing it. Once you get these rights protected, then everything is built on the right foundation. You don't need a bunch of band-aids to constantly come in and change this or tweak that, or, you're done. It protects children's bonds with both parents, reduces conflict, saves families money, enables continuation of extended family relationships, and strengthens communities. It's time to move beyond vague standards and embrace real due process, you guys.
And you can find this bill right here on our YouTube channel.
And I have it right here for you, right here in the blog post on YouTube. Just click on the logo to this channel and it will take you to my actual channel. And up there, there's at the top of the page, there are tabs. Go over to the post tab and go to this post, the Protecting Families Act post, and you will see the whole legislative bill, a legislative packet, everything you need pre-written for you. All you got to do is plug in your state and you can take this to your legislator today. You'll find the legislative packet there, the letter to give to your legislators. Everything is done for you. It will help you keep on track. Print it out, take it to your legislators, and let's get this fixed once and for all. Learn more at fixedfamilycourts.com. Make sure you subscribe up here so you get this whole series. We're going to continue doing these educational videos, these shorts and longer versions of these videos to help you get it straight here so the foundation starts off right. If you start with the wrong foundation, you're just going to be building on top of crap and it's going to crumble. We all know the wrong foundations just break under the weight, and that is what has been happening with parents. They're just breaking under the weight. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.
To make sure you subscribe, hit that all bell and send this to someone you care about.